All right. Yeah, the flags. Normally, if these flags were not in it, it's like the replace method that we learned about when we're doing strings, when we're doing string methods. You know, if you just do replace, it only replaces the first instance of whatever it matches, and that's all. It goes back to rest. It's when you do replace all, then it's, you know, replaces one, looks for the next one, replaces until it has searched the entire string. So that's kind of how this G is. It's basically, it's kind of like replace all. The way replace all makes, you know, the replace methods check the entire string for any matches. That's how this G is. It makes regex keep checking for matches. It doesn't just find one and stop. If you don't put the G, that's what it do. It's just find one and stop if you are asking it to find something. If the case was about finding something. Alright, so I makes the regex case insensitive. So there's a difference between capital I and small I. Normally there's that difference. There are two different things. But if you put this I flag, then there is no difference between capital I and small I. Both of them will be matched. M enables multi-line mode. I have not used this before, so I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's just good you know M enables multi-line mode. U enables support for Unicode. In case you are confused about Unicode, let's go see what that is. Alright, the Unicode character table. So every character available online, like even all the emojis, is there a hand up? Yes, officer. Hello, officer, your hand is up. What's up? Okay. Right, so every this thing available has a Unicode. I think 5. It's like binary or something, or hex rather, I guess. 5 characters. So you can see for this P is 00500, Q will be 00501, that kind of thing. That's Unicode. So U enables support for Unicodes. S short for single line. It causes dots to match new line characters. Again, these three I have not used them. These are the two I've been using so far, so I don't want to talk about these three. But anyway, that's that about flags. So we go into, you know, creating the regex itself. So 2 ways, right? So just a moment, let me create a new, let's see. Lesson 10. So underscore. Today is what? Today is 08/11/22. .js. And what's that? Regex. Okay, so 2 ways. The first way is like this. It said 2 slashes and you can write anything inside. So maybe give. You see how it's a brand new color, it's a different color, right? So you can save this in a variable and it will actually save. So let's see, let's say let's pattern be equal to give, no errors anywhere. So even though this looks weird, it saves. And the second way is with the regex constructor. So let's say let's we call this regex equal to Okay, let's add a flag in here. Let's say G, so we can see what the regex looks like with a flag. It could be, or we could put I. Anyone is fine. Okay, so again, it's like one of those, class kind of things. It's new regex. So anywhere you see new, just your mind should just go to class. It's like those new dates or new map, new sets. That's how it is. So new regex, and then it takes two things inside. The first one is a string, or whatever it is would have been inside the regex, but inside a string, sure. And the second one is the flags. So whatever number of flags you want, you just put them one after the other inside the string. Maybe GIMUS. You can write all of them if you want. Okay. So new regexp, and then we have two strings. Well, of course you can have only one string. If you don't want to have flags, you can have just one string. So let's write the exact same thing. GU and I, and this is our regex. I'm curious if we did this console.log pattern poker. Okay, right, we see that. And now let's write the other one. Regex. See, exactly the same thing. So well, while this way is straightforward, later on, or at some point, I will try and find a point in this lesson to make us understand why this method exists, why there's a reason for this. There's a reason for this. There are situations where you can't use this, but you just have to use this. So in that way, this one is more versatile because you can use it at any point. However, this one, while it's the more common way, it has its limitations. So let's just keep that in mind. All right. So now we've seen flags and we've seen how to create a pattern. So let's look a bit at some of the ways we can use regex, and then after that we're going to dive deeper into creating a bit more complex regexes, if that's the word. Okay, so the ways we can use regex, the first one is tests. Well, test, match, search, replace. So let's go through them one at a time. So let's write that test, match, search, and replace. And apart from test, we should have seen these three already in string methods. There was match, search, and replace. I can't remember if there was test, but I doubt there was test. Okay, this was replace. Okay, I just used only replace all after all. After we tried replace the first time, I just used only this. This is search, this is match. There is no test. So these three, you see, they work. Okay, we just had to use a regex with match here. Well, I said I will explain it more later. Anyhow, so today is that later. Okay, so let's begin with test. Let's have a test string. Let str be equal to, I need a sentence. Yes, that's fine. Alright, so let's try tests. What tests does is that these patterns, these regex patterns, they have some kind of information inside. Well, so tests just checks whether whatever that string is conforms to that pattern or has that pattern inside. So it returns true or false, and we normally use it in this way. You see pattern dot test string, right? So I'm going to use this, so I'll just call it pattern, but I could as well just write this as it is. I'll do both so you would see how it goes. Pattern dot test and then the string inside, so true, because this pattern is looking for these four letters in exactly this order together. If I switch it up, remove this and put U here, we're still getting false because we're not getting those four words right up next to each other in that exact order. Okay, and just to show this, see, if I remove that I, this becomes false because now it's now beginning to differentiate between capital G and small g. So that's the need for the I, or at least we can clearly see the I working. But let's write this in a more interesting way. Well, just to show that you mustn't use variables to store the things you're checking. You can just test them like that. So U I. Sorry, that was one. I. So whether you write it like this, you put it in a variable, it still works. Alright. So there's no need for me to use this one because we've clearly seen that both of them are the same. Alright, so that's tests. As long as it matches, as long as the pattern that was written here matches, you get it true. Okay, the next is match. Right, and match is a little different. You see here we said pattern dot test string. For match it goes string dot match pattern. So let's say, do we console log again? Alright, console.log. I hope you guys are aware these console.logs are just for testing purposes. Obviously if you are using it, you just use it like that. So string dot match. So let's have a regex in there, so we go with pattern. And now you see it's giving us this weird kind of response that looks like an array and looks like an object at the same time. That's because there is no global. So in its mind, it's out to find just one thing. No matter what, it's going to find just one thing. So it's going to find the first instance of GU in this sentence. Yeah, so it just returns the first match. I mean, oh sorry, the first, yes, the thing that it found that matched the pattern. The index where it found it was at index 0. If I put a space here, okay, it doesn't recognize the space. Let's put E. That's very weird. I was expecting this to be 1 because still nothing. That's interesting. Then we get the whole string, and then this.
It's not where you are referring to now.
This is what is picking out.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Okay, thank you very much. I was changing it in the wrong place. E, exactly. That's true. Thank you, Cassie. 1. Yeah, so you see the index chain, it picks out where it found this thing, and that's index 1. Okay, so but once we add G, it suddenly removes all those unnecessary information and just gives us an array of all the matches it found. And you can notice this GU, it didn't pick it by word, it just found what it was supposed to find and brought it out. So if we remove the I, we are going to get only one thing, because now it's matching just, like it's now case sensitive. And you see, even though it's one thing, it's still not bringing out those extra stuff that it was bringing out before. So just keep that in mind in case you are trying to match a pattern and you don't put the G and you see that weird thing and you don't get confused or something. So that's how match works. If there are plenty of them, let's say we're out to match just U. Yeah, it's going to give you a bunch of U's. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 U's. So this can be a useful thing if you are trying to find out how many times something appears in a sentence, how many times the vowels appear in the sentence. You can write the accurate regex for that, and then now just do dot length at the end, and you get 5. So lots of uses for this. Okay, so that's match. Obviously we will not see the full power of all these things we are looking at right now until until we go deeper into how to better construct. I mean, this is what's the word I should use. This is how to construct a regex, but the fine tuning. How do you really build a regex to find this particular thing that is in your mind, something like that. So once we're done with search and replace, we'll go into that. That's the real heart of regex. Alright, so we're done with match. I don't think there's a need for me to do this straight up one. Is there a need? Because, well, okay, let's also do that. So GI, let's say, what was it? GU. Okay, let's change this one to I. So we see exactly the same thing. And that was match. Now search. Again, the search thing is like match. It's string.search pattern. So string.search, just regardless of whether there is G or not, the search method searches for any match for that particular regex and returns the index where it found it. So in this case it's 1. If I move this up, that's 2, that kind of thing. That's what it does. If I remove this I, it's now going to find this GU. Yeah, and so 27. If we try counting it, which I'm very lazy to right now, we're going to see that 27. This is 27. Okay, that is search. Again, remember, it doesn't matter whether there is G, it only finds the first instance, and that's all. It just returns the index where it found it at, and its job is done. That is search. And the last one, the very interesting one, replace. I think we went into a little bit extra about it the last time. The thing with replace is, you see what happens. Replace always takes in, or rather should take in, 2 parameters, 2 arguments. The first one is either a pattern, either a regex pattern, or a string. And in this place, I think okay, we use the we use a string here, so it does its work. And then the second thing it takes in is either a string, you know, to replace the first thing with, or a function, a callback function that would, you know, specify what it should do, how it should change it, if there's some kind of complicated thing you want done. Okay. So let's put in something else. Let's say you should replace it with UYIG. Is that the, yeah, that's the opposite. So we see that working here, and if we add I to this pattern, see, even the front one changes. So once again, I would try to go into the whole, what's that thing called, callback function thing. Alright, so I'm using arrow function. Let's say we just call it substring, right? And now you can do what you want with the substring. If you just return it, well, it gets returned exactly as it is. Well, let's see, let's try and mess with it and return it without, let's see, what changes can we do to this thing now? Okay, let's flip it backwards. In here we take whatever matches this pattern, and then we flip it backwards and, you know, use it to replace the original thing. So let's see, can you do that in one line? Well, keeping aside the one line thing, let's say let's str array equal to, and then we spread substring inside there. Remember, we can spread anything that is iterable. We can spread it. So, oh, this is not even necessary. So actually, this could have been
Edward,
yes,
you said you can spread a variable.
You can spread anything that is iterable, anything you can look over. You can, yeah, you can spread it. So we spread this. It's now an array. We reverse it. We join it back. Right, and we have this. So see, we've replaced all instances of GIYU, case insensitive, and we've flipped it around. So we see this. Alright, so that's replaced with Regex and this thing. There's more to this, I haven't completely gotten, I don't want to say it because I'm not entirely sure, but I think if you add a second parameter here, that parameter holds the index of whatever these strings are. Let's test that. So this is a string, right? We add it to index. This one returns 1, this returns 27. Okay, so I was right. This holds the index. Remember, this GU was found at index 1, while this one was found at index 27. So we are replacing all instances of GU with the flipped version of the GU itself plus the index. So 127. And I think this thing can accept the third bar. I'm not sure. Yes.
Edward,
Yes.
are you console login 26 anywhere?
26. 26 is part of 25.
But 25 is not reversed.
Okay. I think
25 is a function, like 26 is
let me turn it back to a one.
inside 25.
Let me make it a one-line function. Let me remove the return and make it a one-line function, so it would be less confusing. So this is the whole thing.
No, I mean, your code is supposed to reverse it. So I was sort of looking for where the reverse, where it's coming in.
It's reverse GU.
Okay, this is the string E GU. I need a sentence GU, and the pattern is GU, and I'm saying when it finds any match, it should, break it down to an array, reverse it, join it. Anyhow, just turn it around, and we see that E U Y I G added to the index, so 1, and then this one 27. So it's reversed here, these two places. Yeah, see the real this thing here and see how it is here. You see all the two GUs are flipped around.
Okay, let me interrupt. Just continue.
Okay. Well, let's leave this experimentation here. So at least you can tell the first thing substring, whatever it was matched. The second one index. You can do what you want with that in here. Okay, so we're kind of done looking at the methods Regex has. So let's go look more into Regex. Okay, so the first one is square brackets. Square brackets holds, or when I say describes, a set of characters. But the weird thing about it now is that it is only describing those set of characters for one space. Okay, for example, let me do we call a new pattern now? Okay, let's say console.log g dot test str. So in here we put these, okay, and what is missing from here? I need a range that is missing. So if I say ZG, H I J K L M, J to M. Yes, there's no J to M inside here. So I'm checking, is there a J to M? So it recognizes the alphabets. It knows the order of the alphabet. So when you pick somewhere in the alphabet to somewhere, it actually understands what you mean, that you mean J, K, L, M in this case. Okay, if we said A to Z, we're obviously going to get it true because, well, A to Z, we're going to get true because there's, lots of things from A to Z. It also recognizes 0 to 9. So even if I write a 4 here, 4 is between 0 and 9, numbers, so it's going to pick it out. But like I said, this is talking about just one character. Whenever you put square brackets, you are only checking for the space. Okay, let's use match. Match will talk about what I'm talking about. Explain this more. Okay, it goes the other way around. String dot match that's G. So we have this A. What's okay? Let me put an E. E is good. Do you see? Even though the there is this place that has two e's together, because this e is just okay, e, I'm looking for just one e, like single instances of e. So it's going to give me all the e's separately. Even if there's a place with multiple e's packed together, we just get more single instances of e. But if I say ee, then we now get these two e and these two e. You notice there are four e's there. That's why we see, if I remove one of those e's, just one single e, this is going to now have only one, because by the time it matches these first two, this one is now on its own, so it doesn't have a partner anymore. That's how this matching works. So what I'm trying to get at now is that when we match this exactly, do you see, it's looking at it as a single e. So when you put things in a square bracket, you are talking about, it's like this or this or this or this, but single. So if I say b to e, okay, it's going to find single instances of anything that is between b and e. There's a d, there's c, and there's e. All of these, it doesn't matter whether they are right next to each other, it's going to find them single. So even if you say a to z, you are just going to get single of everything in this sentence. And yes, keep in mind, space is something in Regex. So you can see it's finding all this 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. That's what we have here. Because double space, okay, still counting that as okay. That's okay. Yeah, it's because of the way this works. Because it's taking it as, it's looking at it as single. Anything in square brackets is a single. I don't want to use space now because space means space on its own. But I hope you guys get what I mean. No matter what you write, no matter how many plenty things you write in here, it is checking for them in just a single space. So even if there was this exact thing in this place, it's just going to pick them one by one and drop here. So that's the weird thing about square brackets. It's like saying it can be this, it can be that. Okay, a very good example of where to use the square bracket is something like this: gi something u, and then maybe we say y or h, right? So now there is GU for sure, and there could also be GIHU, right? So do you see this? It's matching GI, any of these things, U. So maybe if I put an F in here and then put GIFU, yeah, we get that. So hopefully this makes the square brackets, sheds more light on how it works. It's just like an this or this or this, but all in that one space. Alright, that's square brackets. So we've seen the set of characters. Well, we saw J to M, but you can pick any position you want. A to Z is different from A to Z if I is not being used. Like in the flags, if you don't use I in the flags, then these two are different. But if you use the I, then there's really no point putting both of them together. And yes, you can double things. Like for example, we can say A to Z, A to Z, 0 to 9. This is allowed. Yeah, and you don't have, if you put space in here between any of them, then you are literally looking for space. So you don't have to put space if you don't want space. If you don't want to look for space, you don't have to put space. Okay, 0 to 3, 0 to 9, and yeah, we see the combinations of this. Alright, so these special characters. Special characters. Special characters. Okay, let's look at the special characters. Okay. So we have a bit of a few special characters. So let's try looking at them. Okay, so the most common one we see is digits. Remember, it's backspace we use for the special characters. Okay, so backspace something, and then it does its work. So D on its own is something, but once you put the backspace, it becomes a new thing entirely. So this D, small d, means digits. Small d, digits. Oh, right. This digits. So if I wrote a 5, 6, blah 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 blah, as long as it's a digit. 0, yeah, like that. Okay, so now a big D is a non-digit. Anything that is a non-digit. So you can see where is that? Okay. So you can see all the characters, even the spaces. Let's try and put a few of these underscore as well. So let's look around there. Aha. So you see the dash, you see the brackets, you see the underscore. So those are not digits, so they will also show up in this. The only things that don't show up is 0 to 9. Alright, so that's that. Capital D, non digits. So the next one is W. So do not be worried if you cannot retain as much of these in your head as you want to. It's fine enough to just know that they exist. At any point in time, you can very easily look for regex special characters or whatever. So W searches for words, and things are considered words if they are alphabets, numbers, or underscore. So we can see alphabets, we can see numbers, we can see underscore. The bracket is not showing, the spaces are not showing. All the other weird things, if that all the weird things, will not show. It's just alphanumeric. Should I write it alphanumeric? Okay. But words is actually easier because it's W. But I'll just put in brackets alphanumeric and underscore. Okay, I hope we'll remember this. And then any guesses for capital W? Any guesses from anybody what capital W is? Looking at how things
Opposite of it.
Opposite of it. Okay, so let's write it and see. So basically anything that is not a word, the spaces, the hyphen, the brackets, those show up. And I guess if there was plus and minus, okay, plus this, that, blah blah blah, they are showing up. Okay, so that's fine. Non-words, I guess. Okay, so
Non-word car.
okay, you want the characters as well. Okay. Another one is S. S is spaces and other, just space and tab. tab. Okay. S. Yes. How do I write tab? That's the thing. You can't really tell which one is a tab. But you saw it increase, right? Like after you see it like this, I press this, you saw it increase, right? So you can tell that it showed the tab added something to it. I think tab is like three spaces or 5 spaces. How many were they? 1, 2, 3,
8.
4, 5, 6, 7,
8 spaces.
8. Okay.
8.
And, let's use this so that the people that don't have sharp eyes like you can tell. People like me. 12. Okay, so it's 4 spaces. A tab is 4 spaces according to this. I used to think it was 5. Huh. Alright, so that's that, and I'm guessing capital S is non-space characters.
Non-white space.
Non-white space. Okay. Alright, so we're all learning today. Aha, lovely. And so we see everything except the spaces, the underscores, blah 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 blah. So that's fine. Let's see, are there any more special characters? There's this one backspace character. What the hell is that? Wait, if you press backspace, will it show? Does backspace show? Well, I guess this means I don't know what a backspace character would look like, but this matches backspace characters. So I don't know how to test this out. Well, so we'll just try this one out instead. Word boundaries. So as usual, the small one means something and the big one means none that thing. So words boundary, and then according to them capital B means none. Word boundary. So word boundary, I guess the best way to show this would be something like this. Okay, let's write A here. How many A's do we have in here? Wow, we have only one A. That's not nice at all. We need more A's. The world is in need of A's. Okay, so word boundary is basically, I guess, either beginning of the word or there's a space. Let me try something. A. So let's look at things. Okay. So an A just on its own will have lots of A's. This A, this A, this A, those two A's everywhere. So if we're checking for, let me put a space here. If we're checking for A's with a word boundary in front of them, right? That means in front of the A, it's either the beginning of the string or it's a space. We get this A, see space, and this A, see space. So that's how it recognizes word boundaries, right? And so we have this. But now if we want to find an A that is separated on both sides, or let's first of all do the one of just back. We have only one, because it's just this A that is free at the back. This one has something. Okay, so I hope this has made what this dash B a bit clearer. So basically, if you were trying, okay, later on when we look at something else, we can now see how we can find all the individual words in this sentence. Words meaning, there's a space in front of them, there's a space behind them. Those are words. Okay, but that's word boundaries. So let's look at this weird one, that is non-word boundaries. Oh, right, my bad. Okay, so interesting. It brings out all the other A's. This is one, the A's that are not, that don't, that they're like landlocked A's that are not islands, right? So we have this, and we have these other two. Okay, so that's what this is. Any questions so far? And there are these as well. I don't know about these ones, so I'm going to ignore them. I'll pretend they don't exist right now. So even this null character, I don't really know how to show it, so I'll also ignore that one. And I will just look at this for new line carriage with, I don't know this carriage with one as well. New line. That's weird. How do we show that? New line and other one. What's my problem now? Hey, it's getting off. Please. What's the other one? Yeah, dash T. So this one looks for tab. Let's try this dash T first. It looks like the easier one. I like easy things. Okay, so dash T says there is no tab, but if I put this, still not showing anything. That was a tab. Yeah. How again do you want to see tab? Still not showing me anything. Yeah, tab. Well, that is just crazy. I have put 2 tabs here, if not 3 tabs, and it's still showing me nothing. So I don't know how that one. I know it's lower down. Anyway, dash N. Let's put a new line somewhere. Okay, we see that. Yes, that's how that one works. Okay, so that's that for the special characters. Alright, so next we'll be jumping into these two. Starts with, ends with. Okay, that first one is called the cart symbol, like C-A-R-T. And what is our pattern? So now this is how to use it. That. So you can already see from here. Pattern.text string false. Remember, it was true just now. If I remove that, it's true, because at this point we're only checking for these 4 letters appearing together in the same order, du, which is true. But the moment I put this, it tells me false, because now it's no longer just checking whether these 4 characters appear together in the same order. It's also checking if these 4 strings appear together in the same order and start the string. But this E is the blocker. If I remove this E, we get true again, because now this GU is starting the string. And of course it's only working because the I is there, making it case insensitive. If I knock off the I, it begins to see this GU, which is definitely not the beginning of the string, and we get false. So that's string beginning, I guess. Alright, So now for this regex, we are going to use this one to test the second one. And what does this string end with? It ends with IE space. Is there a need for G? There's no need for G, because we'll only be checking at the end. So this same place, let's duplicate it and see regex. Okay, match. Okay, no, I want this. It's this one I want. It's this one I want. Pattern. No, this is regex. Okay, so remember, this is regex, this is this one. So it's saying true that it can find an IE space inside here. So we're going to add this. What is that thing? This. Saying false. Okay, before I add this, let's just say IE. Yeah, just IE. Of course, we can clearly see that IE doesn't end this sentence, right? But there is IE in this sentence, so it's true. But let's see, if we add the $, we suddenly get false, because IE does not end this sentence. So you can see how the regex looks like. The first one had the cat sign, the GU on had the cat sign in front, checking whether GU starts the sentence, or rather starts the string, not the string, starts the string. And then this one with the $sign at the back is checking, does the thing in front of it, the IE, even if it does not, if we wrote multiple things, sorry, if we wrote plenty things there, it's just checking, do all those plenty things we wrote, does it end the string? That's just what it, once you put $sign at the end, that's just what it means. It's just checking, does that plenty thing you wrote in front of the $sign end the string? And we're getting on line 18 false. So let's try to modify that. You put one space, it's still false. Two spaces, you get true. So I hope we've seen the cat sign and $sign thing. Okay, that's fine. Now, the cat sign, when it is used inside square brackets, it has a different meaning. When you put the cat sign in here like this, it means something else. It means negation. It means, does the string or anything but those things inside that square bracket. So okay, I remember we did that GI something, and GIYU, GIHU, GIFU, yeah, FU, like that. So GI something U, right? And we get all these. So what if I put F? The F suddenly vanishes, because I'm not saying GI anything but F U. If I add Y to that, the Y goes away as well. So this is negation. Okay? And you can have multiple of these, side by side, checking different characters. So of course, so if I say this, we get null, because I'm looking for a four-letter word, or 4 letters together. The first is G, the second is I, the third is anything but F or Y, the fourth is anything but U. So I guess if no, this one will not work. Is that H? Here, this H. If I change this to I, we'll suddenly see G. Okay, so that's the cat symbol. In front, it's checking if the pattern starts the string. Inside square brackets, it's negating anything inside the square. So it's saying anything but what is here is possible or should be allowed. All right, that's that. And then next we'll go into numbers, numberings. Okay, so let's see what shows up plenty here. E. Okay, let's start with hold on, start with okay, GU. Yeah, let's use that. Let's use GU. So GU, right? And then I put this U in brackets like this, and then we'll start with this. We'll start with this. So there's just this GU, right? Let's have another GU somewhere. And then we're going to have GIY. All right, so this question mark means 0 or 1, meaning that thing could be there, it could also not be there, right? So a GIY that has, okay, let's make this I. You see, it still shows up. It still shows up. So the question mark is 0 or 1. Okay. Now there is plus. Plus means 1 or more. So we have the GU and then the GU. Remember, this one is showing GU because we are just restricted to 0 or 1. That's why we didn't see this GU in full. Just this one is saying 1 or more. So as long as it's this one that is just 1 or this one that is more, we are going to see all of them show up. And now there is another one still, and that one is the asterisk, and this one means 0 or more. So ide plenty o, dey at all o, it will show. So we see the GIY, GIYU, GI. So if you are wondering why we're not seeing the G in here, it's because we are looking for GIY with either no U or some U's. The I, this other one is not taken into account. We are just bothered about the U. This one is saying whether there is 0 U, whether there is no U, or there is 1 U, show it. This one is okay. I didn't change this one. This is plus. I thought I changed it before. This one is saying whether there is 1 U or there are more than 1 U's, show it. This one is saying whether there is no U or there is U, whether 1 or more, show it. Okay, so these three are just, they are kind of fixed values, just like that. But there are more still, and with that one we use curly brackets. So if you put
Edward, sorry, can I ask something?
Yeah.
Instead of this comma, can't you just do it that maybe if you do U, comma, does it mean, can it work like either 1 U or W or 3 U inside that square bracket? Maybe U, comma. Can it work?
what it's looking for is this thing changed again. Okay, it's like whenever I copy paste that thing, it changes. Okay, what this is looking for, remember I told you when you put things inside the square brackets, it's looking at them in the same space. So it's looking at whether there is GIYU or GIY comma.
Okay.
You see this one here.
Okay.
GIY comma.
Take everything. Okay.
Yeah. So even if there was GIY comma, because this one is looking for 0 or more. So yeah, we are going to see this. All right. So back to this. These ones are fixed values. This question mark always means 0 or 1. Plus always means 1 or more. Asterisk always means 0 or more. But there could be other cases. What if you are looking for a phone number and you want to check whether there are 11 digits, or maybe it's 11 to 14 digits, I don't know. That's where the curly braces comes in. So you can either say something like this: 2 to 4. That's what this one means. It means 2, you are putting a lower value and a higher value. So if there was a GU with 2 U's, see, nothing is showing up yet, just 1 U. 2 U's, it shows up. 3 U's, it shows up. Well, 4 U's will show up. If I put 5 U's, it's still there, but you can't see the 5th U because it has gone past its limit, just like this one. So you just see 4 U's. Okay, so that's a number comma a bigger number. If you just put small a number comma, it means to infinity. That number to wherever, maybe just they go. So if I start adding you will just keep seeing them showing up. Okay, and if without the comma, then you are strict. You are saying just 2. I'm looking for a GU with just 2 U's. That's all. That's that. So with this, well, is it 4 now or 6? Because this one there. Okay, let me write the other 3. Ping ping. Alright, this one is just comma, and that one is, let's say, comma 4. Okay, so with this 6, you can check for number values like repetitions of either the entire thing or just a particular character or set of characters. That's about numbering. So let's check a bit more. Now this one, but I would like to talk about capture groups first before I talk about this one, because most times this one is or, it's like either this or this. So like what they are saying here, it's either apple or banana. But the thing is, it's mostly used inside the capture group, so I'll talk about capture group first before I talk about this one. So now, capture group. Remember I said, it doesn't matter how many things you write in here, they are all talking about one space. But what if you actually don't want to, look for maybe F or G or J or C in just one spot? You actually want to look for a group of all these characters. What do you do then? And then you use this string dot match ping gi, and we put a bracket, maybe sent right? And A. So I'm looking for sent, like these four things together, and then an A right after it. So let's have another sent. Without an A, it doesn't show up. With an E, it doesn't show up. With a G, it doesn't show up. But once you put an A, it suddenly shows up. Right? Okay. Is this the best possible explanation? Okay. I guess most of the time this is used, it's because of the or thing. So let's try something else. Maybe sant. Oh no, even this is too close. Fret. Freg. Huh. So sent A or freg A. Alright? And let's add that freg. Still don't see it until we add the A. So that's where capture groups comes in. Let's see. Let me see if they have a better example on that than the weird things I'm writing. Wow, they didn't talk about capture groups. Huh, that's very, very weird. Okay, but they talked about this, which I missed. Period. The period means any character except new line. So they call it a wild card. So when you are like, something can be there, but I don't know what it is. That kind of thing, like anything at all can be there. Then you put the dots. So let's look at this. GI anything U, right? Do we see that? GIYU shows up, GIFU shows up, YU. Let's add more. GI6U. GI6U shows up. So maybe we can even add it with some of this. Yes, this stuff, the plus, the this, the that, and this one, they only affect the thing that is just to the left of them. So we can even put it here. We can say GI plus U. And you see, you see how many things show up. Okay, it's even just one. Only one thing showed up. JDHU. Where is the JDHU? Okay, because this is the last U. You know, the sentence started with GI. Okay, let me. Okay, see how it starts with GI and ends with HU, right? If I remove this I, this modifier for case insensitive, it's going to start from this G, because this is the first GI and this is the last U. This, you know, this plot, this this plus is saying one or more, and this is a wild card, which means anything except new line. So this is basically saying GI anything except new line, any number of characters, then after that U. So it's basically going to pick the entire sentence. Like, okay, so let me remove the I and let's watch how you see it starts from GI now. It starts from Gihi. If I want to put a stop in that plan, I'll put a new line somewhere here. Okay, it's now bringing out two things. Where did I put the new line? I put the new line after this one, after GI6U, and it's stopping there and starting the next one. Okay, so that's plus. Okay, what if I said question mark? GI one thing or nothing. So even if I wrote GIU, I should get a match, right? GIU shows up because I'm saying GI, whether anything is there or one thing is there. Let it show. Alright, so that's the wildcard stuff. Okay, now
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Question mark is one or more. Sorry, I'll be 0 or 1.
0 1.
Now that white card now is saying anything after I.
Yes.
But that question mark is not limiting its options.
It's limiting it to things,
Zero.
any GI with either one thing or nothing between it and the U.
On that first space to capture it.
Yeah.
This is a wild card.
Yeah, anything at all. Anything at all.
Well, that question mark they are limited to be one thing.
To either 1 or 0. See, this one is 0.
But
The
that's-
GIU is
It
0.
can be GI, it can be.
GI wanting you.
Okay.
Okay. So we could also as well put curly braces and say maybe two things. GI, 2 things U. So in that case, the Y and the U are regarded as the 2 things between the GI and then the last U. Of course, we could say up to 4 and we get even more things. Alright, so that's that. Okay, now a little bit small weirdness. These 2. So I think these 2 are the last I'm going to talk about, and then we'll try and find an interesting regex, or we'll find regexes online and read them. When I say read them, I mean trying to understand what they mean, what they are looking for. Or somebody can suggest a pattern and then we can try to write that. Either way, we need to practice a bit with what we've learned. Sure, I'm seeing lots of things here that I'm not talking about, I've not talked about, like these ones here and these ones here. Yeah, I'm not talking about them because I never used them before. So if you start practicing and you are feeling adventurous, well, please be my guest. Go try them out at some point. There is joy in researching. Alright, so positive look ahead, negative look ahead. Positive look ahead means you stand at this point and you are saying the thing that you are writing after, it's whether you're looking to see whether it comes after. How do I write this? How do I say this? Okay, let's see. Console the log. I'll use regex the test this time around because it's easier to roll with that. Still need for the G in this case, maybe I. The test. What string should I use? I have 3 $50 notes. Positive look ahead. Is this a good example? Maybe we have 50 cent notes. Changes to coins. Okay, so if I'm looking for digits, right? No, I think March would have been good. Ooh, that's annoying. console.log. Match all right, so first test. I had, there's a 3, there is 50. I want to see 3 and 50 instead of 350. What change do I make to line 39? Let's start from here. Your hint is that it's here, it's inside here. I want to be seeing, the groups of words as they show up. So even if there was 500 here, let me see it. This one is 30. So don't use or at least let that one be there. Let it just be like that. Any group of numbers that are together, I want them to be together in here. I don't want them to be just single numbers. So what do I add to line 39? Hello people.
Can you take the question again? I didn't even get it.
Alright, the question is, as this is right like this, we are getting 3, 5, 0. I don't want to see that. I want to see 3 on its own and see 50 together, not 5 and 0. So any group of digits that are on their own, let them be like that on their own. Let them be together in the results. So what change do I make?
After that G, we can put curly braces and say maybe 1 to 2. 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yes, and that was why I was explaining that even if
it should work.
What about what if there's 500?
What did you say?
What if there's 500 or 20?
What did then we cannot use this part. We can do it like 1 comma. So what in that side I call it is 1 comma to capture everything.
Okay, 1 comma
to capture everything. Like 1 or more.
Yeah.
How come it's not capturing the others?
Hey, I think you should edit it in what you're console-logging, Abi. You're console-logging like 39 and
okay, that's
string, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's true. Yeah, no wonder it's not working. Thank you, Jerry.
Yes, thank you. All right, but this is kind of long. This
how is it long?
Easier way. Plus 1 or more.
Anyone, it depends on the style you want to use. Now
that's why I said it's long. Now I didn't say it's not correct. I said it's long.
It's true, sir.
Okay, so plus. All right, so we can knock off this 2022.
And since plus is just 1 or more, yeah, that's true. So it depends.
Okay, so we have this, but now imagine I want to get just the numbers that have an alphabet after them. Does that make sense? Because maybe I'm thinking the numbers with an alphabet after them are, money, because this is 50 cents. I guess cents is different from C, but you get the point. So we can now use a positive look ahead. Okay, so this is how the positive look ahead goes. Normally it's just brackets. Okay, then you have question mark equal to, and then maybe this D plus, and then what's this one, A to Z, right? or not. Two species. Okay, let me go check very well how to use this. I've used it once, but sketchily. Okay, how to use positive. What's this one? Okay, positive look ahead works just the same. This matches a Q. Okay, so let's try that. Positive look ahead, let's try that. So we move this out of the regex and put it here. Aha, that's it. So for this D plus the positive, this one now is a positive look ahead. This, you are checking ahead of this D plus, is there any, we're looking for the one that has A to Z, any character from A to Z in front of it. So if we had more things, let me see, we had 67, it's not going to show, but the moment we add an I, it shows up, something like that.
Edward,
Yes.
is D not is it not digits?
Yeah, D is digits.
Then plus is one or more.
Yes. So we're looking for
So-
one or more digits that
Number.
one or more
Yes.
digits that is being followed by A to Z.
So it's a question mark.
Yeah.
It's equals to what is it? Question mark is 0 or more or more now.
In this case, forget how the
Okay.
question mark is. Like,
Okay.
you see this. Can you see this? This is the syntax for positive look
Okay.
ahead. So forget about the question mark and the
Okay.
equal to. Once you just see this kind of setup, then you are saying that you are checking that
Whatever comes
this thing that is here shows up after maybe whatever came before this.
Okay, positive look ahead.
Positive look ahead. So let's try out the negative look ahead. That one has a
Is that what does it stand for? Is it like destructuring the dot following it?
no. They're just saying it can be anything. Write whatever you want there. Okay, so this positive look ahead is checking for digits that are one or more characters followed by A to Z. So let's have this. So now if we change it to negative look instead of equal to, you have this. So now it's looking for that's not what I expected. Oh, I see, it's actually working. It's looking for digits that are, what do they call it, one or more digits that are not followed by A to Z. So this 50 is taking only the 5. It's ignoring the 0. And then this 66, 70i is ignoring the 0 and taking only the 67. So I guess in this case, if we wanted to be accurate, we would add word bounders, right? So something like this. and then it gets accurate. I guess we could also add in front too, just to be safe. But yeah, you get the point. Okay, so there's also negative look ahead. They just didn't show that here. Sorry. Look behind. There is, this is look ahead. You are looking ahead of the thing you are checking at the moment. Look behind. Well, look behind. So let's see. Look behind. So look behind is just like look ahead, only that it has this less than sign after this one. So less than blah 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 blah. So
Yeah, because at the point I wasn't hearing anything anymore.
hey,
Though I mean, I was using the course as background noise. Hi, Edward.
yeah, are we doing it? What's going on?
Apparently.
Your network.
Now my network, hey God, oh, even my phone too left the meeting. I was just talking to myself.
Like all your devices left.
Chai. I was just talking to
Everybody.
myself this entire time.
We're with you up to that moment where you were doing all
Happen.
digits that doesn't have a letter. That's where your network came in.
I thought I would. I
Oh, wow.
thought you actually
Hey,
did.
Paola, what are you saying?
I'm putting his leg now.
Hey, sorry. Samad, you said you're with me up to what point?
The point where you were doing
Negative blah,
like
blah, blah.
the letters are not showing, like it should display letters as in the numbers
But
that doesn't have letters. Oh, they
Numbers
talk
doesn't
about
have
it.
letters.
I'm seeing
I don't think
kind
look
of
ahead.
Okay, is he here?
this layer.
Is he here? This point, Abi?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes, that point.
this is negative look ahead. It's supposed to we're trying to find
The grooming.
digits that are one or more digits that are not followed by A to Z. Okay. Or at least I was expecting to see 3 and 5, 6, 7, 8, but we're also seeing 5 and 67, and this is because it's ignoring the last thing, because we said one or more digits, right? 5 is one or more digits and it's not followed by an alphabet, so it passes. 67 is one or more digits, it's not followed by an alphabet, so it passes. So I'm saying if we really wanted to get just 3 and 5, 6, 7, 8, then we'll add word bounders here. Yeah. Okay, anyhow,
So
that's
this word banders. I'm still
Also,
confused. What
so
exactly
cute.
a word bander?
what's exactly the meaning
What
of word
exactly?
I believe we talked about it somewhere up there. So word bounders, they check for either beginning of the string, end of the string,
End.
or space, like this space. So a word bounder is checking if you put the word bounder at the end of your regex like this, it's checking whether after it has found this thing that it's supposed to find, the thing after, is it space? You understand? In this case now we're
No.
checking, we're looking for the presence of a word boundary after these digits. Okay, before we put the word boundary, this is what we're getting, right? 3, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 67. But after this 3, there is a space. after the 5, 6, 7, 8, there is a space. That means it's a word on that side. Normally words have spaces between them.
Sure.
So now this 5 doesn't have a space after it. 67 does not have a space after it. So by the time you put word boundary after here, it's going to fail, because after the 5, after the 67, it's not space. So this is going to keep it out. This is checking for after whatever you put it. Let what is after be a space or end of the string.
Or end of the string. Okay.
All right. So that's what do they call it? Positive and negative. Positive and negative look ahead. It's either equal to question mark equal to something for positive, or question mark exclamation mark something for negative look ahead. Now for look behind, it's question mark less than equal to, or question mark less than, and this one, what's that one called? Exclamation mark. So look behind, well, looks behind. So let's see, what should we try to look behind now? Okay, we should try to find alphabets that behind them are numbers, right? So what do we write? Sorry. Write this, and it will be A to Z. That's alphabet. Any number of alphabet plus one or more, and then let me see. Behind it should be 0 to 9. Do I need to put it at the back, or is it this one that is causing issue? Yeah, these things are getting weird. Okay. So for look ahead, you need to keep the thing you are checking in front of the look ahead. But for look behind, then you need to keep it behind. So we're getting C and I, because these are the two alphabets that have 0 to 9 behind them. And I guess to see alphabets without without a digit behind them, we change this to exclamation mark, and then we see I have coins. The C and the I don't show up. So that's negative look ahead. So let me find some examples of what do they call it? Of regex. Let's start with something simple. You guys better know this one.
I have to go.
You want to go? Don't worry, just the small one. Just only the small one. What was that one? Oh, that's true. It's 1018. That's sad. Yes, this one. So we're saying whatever, replace this with empty string. So what is here? What exactly is this matching with? Anybody, or you can just start small. What do you see first of all?
I can't get your question now.
On line 112, we are seeing something replace a regex and empty string. So basically, I'm saying find whatever matches this and replace it with empty string. So my question is, what is this? What is this looking for that it should match with?
It's looking for whatever will start from 0
No,
So
no,
to 9 or whatever.
no.
Any alphabet. It's more
Remember,
of like whatever will.
remember that cat sign. If it shows up inside square brackets, it means negation. Yes.
Anything that
Okay.
is not a digit or an alphabet.
Decrypt all these things.
You said.
That's like white space. A to Z 0 9.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
only special characters that will not replace.
It's not replace white space
Okay.
because there is dash, there is underscore. You know how they call this one.
It's going to replace white
Yeah.
space. It's going to replace anything that is not 0 to 9, A to Z,
There's no
A to capital A to Z. Then these backspaces, they are escaping. You know, this can be kind of a special something inside square brackets. The hyphen, it's like you're trying to
add
what's the
to
word?
do something together.
Show a range, maybe this to this or that to that. So I use the backspace to escape it, although I don't think it's necessary. Sha. But, also the underscore too needed to be it might also mean something else. Yeah, so it was escape.
White space will escape.
White space is not inside
Oh.
here, so it's
That's what I'm saying. It's not inside to escape.
it's going to catch it and replace it with empty string.
This
so-
space will replace it.
Yeah, this is an input. So basically I'm saying once somebody types anything and it's not these things here, let it not show. Just replace it with empty string. Let it be like the person will not type anything at all. So if you type a space, you will not see the space show up. If you
Not
type a symbol like $sign or pound or something, you will not see it show up because it's not one of these. Okay, so that's a simple example of regex, and I think we can end here. Please just remember, just try and use it somewhere. It will become more part of you if you try and use it somewhere, or just find the regex and start looking at it and try to understand it.
I'll start typing it.
Okay, I guess the rest of the people run away because they are
Regex not let anybody.
One
We're
hour.
like 17. We're like 17 when we started.
What's this one? Remind me later.